Hello, everyone. I'm Alvin Washington, and welcome to Mid-America Broadcast Network's brand new series, Legends of the Cage, as we are here in Southeast Missouri. And, of course, anybody that knows anything about the Cage knows that that is the longtime home of the world-famous Charleston Blue Jays high school basketball program. We are privileged at this time to have, from the Charleston class of 1996, Jeremy Biles. Jeremy, how are you today?
I'm all right, man. How you doing, man?
I cannot complain. It is an honor and a privilege to be speaking with one of the legends of the Cage and one of those that has continued to help the championship tradition that is Charleston Blue Jays basketball. A friend of mine that we know mutually asked me to conduct this interview with you because of a particular instance during your time at Charleston that I think lends to the scepter of how one should conduct themselves in the time of sudden loss, as it were. I'll take you back to the state championship game that Charleston played during your time against St. Francis Borgia of Metro St. Louis. 2.3 seconds left on the clock. Charleston up by a couple of points. You seemingly had the game in hand, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes a three-point shot, long range. Borgia wins the game, wins the state championship. And, of course, typically as teenagers would have it, they're crying, they're on the ground, their heads are on the floor. You somehow smiled and shook everybody's hands in, I think, a moment of sportsmanship that doesn't get talked about. Take us back through that.
Well, I had a chance in high school to do something that nowadays it seems like, it was very hard to do. I had a chance to go to state 4 straight years in high school. And the team you're talking about out of Washington, Missouri, called St. Francis Borgia, was some ballers. And we met them in the quarterfinals every year up there in the Farmington area. And every year, my freshman year, it was a good game. My sophomore year, it was a great game. And, my junior year was probably the best game we ever played against them. And had a chance to beat them guys. And, to go up by 2 points with 2.3 seconds left, and for him, I think his name was Josh Holtz, 6'4", lefty. Ended up playing ball at Springfield up there, and he took one dribble and let it go. Nothing but the bottom of the net. I was just blessed to be a part of that moment right there. Because at the same time, we trying to make history here in Charleston because we haven't went to state at that time. I think it was probably the last time we went to state was like 91 or 92. And we had a chance. Them 3 years, man, they still haunt my life right now because I would have had a chance to play against Tyrone Lue and a couple more other good name guys that was up there in the state finals them 3 years. And, that shot hurt because we was blue and white down on the floor. We ain't been to state in a minute. Everybody ready to go. And like I said, he made that shot, and it was gold and purple in the gym. And I made it through the crowd. I shook as many opponents' hands as I could, but I really wanted to shake his hand. Because he was the one that I was holding him majority of that game. And when you just meet competition like that, guys who don't buy down to regardless of what type of pressure, and they never give up. As long as there's time on the clock, you still got time. I appreciated that. But I know a lot of guys around my time during that time would have gave up.
You had an opportunity You had an opportunity, by the way, to play under one of the legendary coaches of Missouri State High School basketball in Lenny McFerrin, who retired from the school about 2006, 2007, and is now an administrator. What was it about that moment that you displayed that he was able to impart to the rest of the team about being able to handle such a very sudden adverse moment?
Well, the whole thing, what a lot of people don't realize about Coach Mack and Coach Spencer is all you had to do was go out and give it 110. There's guys out there better than you. You know, it's teams out there better than you. But if I can get you guys to function as one team and play as one team, regardless of what happened on that court, with a win or a loss, if you gave it everything you got, people gonna respect that, and you need to respect that. And that was the bottom line. All they wanted was good, hard play.
We're talking with Jeremy Biles from the class of 1996 of Charletson High School as we start our series here on the Mid-America Broadcast Network, Legends of the Cage, former Blue Jay basketball stars who gave it their all to make the program what it is. And as we continue, Jeremy, you parlayed your success, all state honors. Next stop is St. Louis. You had an opportunity to play with St. Louis University when they were a part of Conference USA at the time, and you managed to do well enough to earn a spot on the all-freshman team. Was the transition from being a small-town basketball hero to now being this small fish in a much bigger pond on a much bigger stage a little tough to handle, or you handled it the way that you knew best?
I ain't going to say I handled it the way I knew best, but I was able to come to that university and perform with the big fish from a small town that don't get heard about. And I played against some big-time guys in that league. A lot of them was able to go play in the NBA, continue on with their career. And that right there, that let me know that if I can play, I can play with anybody. And that was just instilled in me from my coach. We got a host of good coaches that I had that's coming from junior high to high school. Coach Rocket, Coach Fitzgerald, Coach Spencer, Coach Mack, Coach Formal. And it just was instilled in us that, hey, we can play with anybody, regardless of our size or what. Put the ball in on the floor and let's go. That was a real good experience for me right there.
You then later took those experiences in the Gateway City and came back home, per se, to Southeast Missouri State. Granted, you had to sit out a year because it was Division I to Division I, but now you got the chance to play for the hometown university. And not only that, this was the early years of the Show Me Center that had been about maybe 10 years old at the time. To now play on that big of a setting, again in your home area, did you feel the comfort level coming back?
Oh, no, definitely. Most definitely. I was at home. I was at home, but I was, hurt me too. I think coming to SEMO hurt me because I was able to do things that I wasn't allowed to do in St. Louis because I was afraid to do them type things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as playing ball, and going to school there, best time, that was really one of the best times of my life to be back at home because I had a lot of love here. You know, I had people, I'm talking about Southeast. You know, we talking about high school basketball, you know, everybody hates Charleston when you playing against them, but when you go represent Southeast, it's a different level. And I had a lot of people that had my back, and, you know, it still shows today. You know, people out of Advance, Missouri, Scott City, Missouri, you know, and they are some real loving and caring people.
You know, you mentioned coming back home and having that love come at you. And you've probably felt that love ever since you played in the world-famous U-High tournament that really considers the big event of the basketball season in Southeast Missouri. Charleston has been a long-time participant, one of the most decorated championship teams to play in that tournament. And it goes without saying that the Blue Jays literally almost ruled the roost every year when the 16 best teams in the area came through.
Right. Well, what's up with you now? Hey, we always looked at the Christmas tournament as a way of just displaying to the Southeast Missouri and Cape Girardeau that we are the most dominant and pro-dominant team in this area when it comes down to basketball. You know, we love the Christmas tournament. We love the Sykeston Invitational. And that's what because it's CMO basketball. And we'd like to go out and perform and let everybody know, hey, in the cage, like y'all call it, the cage, this is what we do. This is what we do.
Talking with Jeremy Biles of the Charleston Blue Jays, class of 1996, former state championship player, all-state player. Had an opportunity to play not only at St. Louis U, but the hometown Southeast Missouri State as we continue our inaugural edition of Legends of the Cage. I'm Alvin Washington. You talk about being able to showcase what Charleston basketball is, and no better way to showcase that are through the long-time rivalries, and one that is very respectful even to this day is the long-time showdown between Charleston and Scott County Central of Morley. And Coach Lenny McFerrin could probably tell you better than anybody else of his back-and-forth battles with those coaches over there, being able to snag a former coach over there back over to Charleston to help continue the tradition. But it was that respect between those two programs that continues to make that rivalry what it is.
Well, we snatched Coach Foreman from him. You know, this is his hometown. This is where he went to school at. And it was only right that he came back here and get him a couple championships here. And, you know, when I played in high school, I played Scott Central twice, and we got lucky to play them then because they wasn't that good then. But you know, I have heard and have watched a couple of them of the rivals between Kent and Lamont Frazier, and when the Charleston team was 33-0 that year, and they won all them games. They had a winning streak coming back into the next season, and I think Scott Central was a team that beat them in the Christmas tournament. And that was that team downfall right there. They was undefeated up to that point. And I think that year was 1992. It was either 92, 93 season, I think. 91, 92, if I'm not mistaken. But Scott Central is still producing championships. As I think you know, they got more than anybody in the state. We've been blessed to be, I think we're right behind them now, considering that Vashon had to vacate a couple of their championships over the last couple of years about the situation concerning their coach. So I think Coach Foreman got a chance right now to get there these next 2 years, and hopefully we can try to catch Scott Central because, you know, like I say, we are the most dominant team in this area.
As you look back on your life and career and everything that has happened to you, good and bad, as you look upon the next generation of those trying to make their name in the cage in Charleston, what are some of the things that you would like to impart to this next generation to let them know, even though times have changed a bit, environments have changed a bit in Charleston, that the game of basketball has not changed and you still can be successful and make it to the next level?
No doubt. No doubt. And that's my message today to the young guys. You know, I got a son and a nephew they gonna be on varsity this year. They should have been there. You know, but they'll be there this year. And like I say, man, we still out here every day on this court. We going at it every day, battling these youngsters, trying to make them better, to prepare them for this world out here. You know, but basketball alone gonna take you to see everything. You know, I be telling the young guys around here today, just with the round ball alone, I done been in almost every state in this country. That's just with the basketball. I ain't saying where I just went on my own. I'm saying just playing basketball at D1 schools and Division II school, I done been in a whole lot of states. That's just because I played ball. And if you can learn to love it and learn to live it, it's gonna take you to them same places. And hey, we got a tournament coming up this weekend down here in Charleston. We got about 8 teams. We're trying to get 2 more to make it 10, but we got 8 now, and it's going down here this weekend. And this is what this town is built on. This is the success of this town. When you come in on our exits, you see state championship banners. You know we win championships here with that basketball.
We have been privileged to be speaking with Jeremy Biles from the class of 1996 at Charleston High School, former All-State player, former state championship player, former Division I college player, joining us on our inaugural edition of Legends of the Cage as we check back in with some of the greatest players in the history of Charleston High School basketball in the state of Missouri. Jeremy, I truly do thank you. I truly do appreciate the wisdom and the knowledge, and I wish you all the best of success as your next generation of Blue Jays comes through the cage.
That's right. I appreciate that. And guess what? This how lucky you is. This how lucky you are today. I got another legend that was listening in to the conversation named Sean Sherrill. What you know about him? State champion, you heard me?
Okay. All right. Let me end this one on this note. I'm Alvin Washington for the Mid-America Broadcast Network, and this is Legends of the Cage.